thin woman who appeared no worse the wear for having borne 9 children. She found Clementine keen on politics and well-informed, just like her. Winston delighted in shaking their hands. Mr. Churchill, with his puckish face, was clad also in tweeds and looked more like a country squire than an English statesman, wrote Rose. We found him charming, amiable, and very frank in his discussion of events. Like most women of her era, Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy, the daughter of Boston's former mayor and wife of a multimillionaire who aspired to the White House, found herself relegated to the position of an observer, rather than a participant, in the exchanges between powerful men. On both sides of the Atlantic, the world in the early 20th century was still ruled by fathers and their sons. Yet in Rose's political judgment, savvier than most, Churchill was one of the great men of the generation. Meeting him at Chartwell merely confirmed her belief. Undoubtedly, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, her second oldest son, agreed about Churchill. While recuperating in America from his constant illnesses, young Jack had read many of Winston's accounts of manly heroics, faraway adventures, and bloody battles. Churchill's words captivated young Kennedy, illuminating a world that the often sickly and painfully thin schoolboy could only dream of sharing one day. Within Churchill's sprawling histories, Jack found a piece of himself. He gobbled up the masterful biography Marlborough, about John Churchill, the first Duke of Marlborough, an ancient ancestor of Winston's who helped save the British monarchy. As president years later, Kennedy called Marlborough one of his favorite books, along with John Buchan's Pilgrim's Way. In his writings, Churchill offered fascinating lessons in high politics and wartime strategies, combined with moments of personal danger and exemplary acts of courage. Each journey brought a new story of daring-do and near-death escapades, told with his trademark wit. Although always prepared for martyrdom, I preferred that it should be postponed, Churchill explained. After a rocky start as a student, Winston emerged as a self-made man. He extolled the virtues of the British Empire as one who had seen the world in all its blood and glory and lived to tell about it. As a war correspondent in the Sudan, he witnessed the Royal Army's last cavalry charge against the frenzied swordsmen called whirling dervishes, swarming down a hillside with bloodthirsty zeal, the sun glinting on many thousand hostile spear points. In India, Winston avoided death and eluded the onslaught of Pathan tribesmen along the Afghan border, who chased him with their guns ablazing. And in South Africa, Churchill was taken prisoner while covering the Boer War, only to escape and travel secretly on a freight train to freedom while the Boers advertised a bounty for his head. How could any red-blooded American boy like Jack Kennedy not be enthralled by the never-say-die spirit of a British gentleman at war like Winston Churchill? In one respect, a cavalry charge is very much like ordinary life, Churchill advised. So long as you are all right, firmly in your saddle, your horse in hand, and well armed, lots of enemies will give you wide berth. But as soon as you have lost a stirrup, have a rein cut, have dropped your weapon, are wounded, then is the moment when from all quarters enemies rush upon you. With a vicarious thrill, Kennedy admired Churchill's eloquence and pluck, the joie de vivre of a man who, after nearly being killed by gunfire, could declare with glee, "Nothing in life is so exhilarating as to be shot at without result." Most Americans, like the Kennedys, shared a similar heroic image of Churchill. The press portrayed him as a Renaissance man born of the Victorian age, yet very much a product of his modern era. Chartwell reflected Churchill's vision of himself as a soldier, writer, essayist, journalist, orator, and statesman. Evidence abounded there of a man who enjoyed being a polo player, huntsman, painter, and even bricklayer. His home was incorporated into the legacy Winston planned for his only son Randolph, a golden-haired lad who was a more naturally gifted orator than his father. Chartwell is to be our home, Winston wrote to his wife Clementine when they bought the place a decade earlier. We must endeavor to live there for many years and hand it on to Randolph afterward.